Hey guys, we are going to do a fridge clean out. The refrigerator is really full here. It needs better organizing, and then also my freezer kind of needs organizing as well. I'm going to take inventory and I am going to do my meal planning. So come along and join me as I clean out the fridge. I'm going to start out by just working on the top shelf. I like to do one shelf at a time. It's less overwhelming. And then of course I'm going to use my homemade all-purpose cleaner spray to give it a good wipe down. We've only had this fridge for about 2 months. It's not super dirty yet, but it still needs cleaned. If you guys like these types of videos, then make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, make sure to click on the notification bell. That way you get notified when I post new videos and you won't miss anything. If you have Instagram, then follow me over at The Joyful Mommy. I kind of post a little bit more of our daily life, and you can just see a peek inside of our life through my Instagram stories and my posts. So be sure to follow me over there on Instagram and subscribe here on YouTube. My produce drawers always have a ton of little crumbs and little veggie scraps and fruit scraps in them. I don't know how that happens, but somehow it does. So I'm just going to dump them out. And yes, the kitchen is a mess. I have not had time to clean it yet today. So I'm going to do that after I clean out the fridge. Don't forget to wipe out the very bottom underneath the bottom shelf, because there always gets a ton of food and crumbs down there. Again, I have no idea how it happens, but it does. And here I had so much trouble getting this drawer back in. For some reason, it just was super difficult to get in, but I finally did it. Next, moving on to the doors. Make sure you check each of your condiments to make sure that you're throwing out anything that is expired. Here I'm checking to see if these were expired or not. Also, make sure you wipe out the little containers here, because again, somehow there just gets food and sticky stuff from your condiments. So you want to make sure you clean that out on a regular basis. Okay, here it all is nicely organized. It may not look much different, but I will show you what I pulled out. So here we have the breakfast stuff. This is sandwich and bread stuff, sandwich meat. I like buying this from Costco and having this on hand, because then I can make burrito bowls for lunch, and it's nice if we don't have leftovers. I can just pull this chicken out, it's already cooked. And then this shelf here is for leftovers. This is my sourdough discard. I'm piling it up so that way I can make pancakes on Saturday. There's just some more leftovers over there. This here's a whole chicken. We're gonna have this for dinner tonight. It is double bagged, so I don't have a designated raw meat drawer in this refrigerator. If you've seen our old refrigerator in my old cleaning videos, I used to, but so this is double bagged. That's why it's okay here for now. And then I just have some ground flaxseed and my spirulina powder for smoothies. This little drawer here I have for our cheese. This is just a container instead of using a bag because I'm out of bags. So this is just extra cheese that we'll cut off, and then so that way we don't have to get out the whole block because we don't go through that much cheese. And then these are all my chicken and beef and vegetable based things. This one here is a produce shelf. This is all of my potatoes here, and then I just have cut up onions or any other veggies like the applesauce and raisins back there. And then this is the veggie drawer, and this is the fruit drawer. And then here's the door over here. I'm not gonna go through all the condiments and stuff, but that is that. Okay, so over here on this counter, the only thing that I have that is wasteful is this apple that has apparently been in there a while. It is super squishy and wrinkly. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to throw it out. Well, this half of it might be okay. I don't know. I may cut it up and give it to, well, I don't even think I'm gonna give it to the kids as a snack. It's pretty mushy. And then this here is some leftover oatmeal from the other day. I saved it because I wanted to see if I can find a muffin recipe because I didn't want to waste it. So I need to go ahead and look that up so I can not waste that. And then this stuff needs to go in the freezer. This is just some chicken. I baked up a chicken breast and a chicken thigh for a recipe, and I ended up using something else. So this just needs to go in the freezer. This is the other extra package that needs to go in the freezer. I've got some sandwich meat that needs to go in the freezer. And then this here is some cooked ground beef. So I just need to stick that in the freezer as well. And then this is some spinach we use for smoothies. So I just need to stick that in the freezer. And then this here is some celery that I've had in there for a while. I used some of it, but I need to actually go ahead and just chop it up and freeze it so that way it doesn't go bad. And then over here, I made some bone broth in my Instant Pot the other day. So I need to divide those out into jars, but I need to go down in the basement and get jars to put them in, and then I can stick them in the freezer, but I have to organize the freezer first. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the little waste that I had, which was just that. So I just need to stick these in the freezer, but I'm gonna go ahead and organize the freezer now. Somebody took a short nap and was unhappy, so she's going to join me for the rest of the duration of cleaning out the fridge. So I have a pad of paper here that I'm going to write down things that I pull out of the freezer. That way I can just take inventory of what I have, and it'll just make meal planning so much easier. Sometimes I get things that get stuck in the back of the freezer that I just kind of forget about. So this is great to be able to just kind of check and see what you have. How cute is Miles here helping me? He was so excited to help me put stuff back in the freezer. He was jumping up and down, and I just love how he loves helping me, which if you've seen in any of my other videos, then you know that he loves helping me. Next, I'm going to go ahead and chop up this celery and stick it in the freezer. What I'm doing here now is I'm going to take the bottom part and then the top portion, and I'm going to get a strainer here and I'm going to rinse it out really good. And then what I do is I stick it in a bag and put it in the freezer. That way when I make chicken broth or beef bone broth, I can just throw any veggie scraps into the pot, and that way nothing gets wasted and I've just got some extra flavor and extra nutrients and stuff to add. So I'm just going to add it to this bag, and then anytime I have any veggie scraps, I just add it to this same bag. Celery freezes really well, especially if you're not going to use fresh celery. Don't let it go bad. Just chop it up and freeze it, stick it in a bag, and then I just pull out handfuls whenever we have stir fry, soups, or whatever, and it just makes me feel better that I'm not wasting something I spent money on. And it's nice to have celery on hand because we use it in a few recipes here and there, and I don't always go to the store and buy celery. Alright, so this is all cleaned and organized. I've got lots of bone broth here, and I've got some stuff, my smoothie stuff down here, and veggies and extra stuff here. This is all like my flour and bread, ice cream, and cold packs. So then before I put everything back in the fridge, I just took an inventory so that way I can do my menu planning here, and that way I can know what to make. So we're gonna go do the freezer in the garage and take inventory of that and get that cleaned out.
Thumbs up,
subscribe. This is our deep freeze that we have in the garage, and so we have a lot of extra meat and a lot of extra things out here that we don't use as frequently as the one in the house. So I have my pad of paper here, and I'm just gonna go through and take everything out. This was a huge job. We had a lot of stuff in here, but of course I had my trusty little sidekick helper here who was more than willing and more than eager to give me a helping hand. It is all cleaned out here. I've got several of these Dollar Tree bins, and I've got one of beef and then a couple of chicken, and then this is all my extra veggies and frozen fruit and stuff. So it'll make it really easy when I need to get something. And I've got English muffins in here because I ran out of plastic bags, so that's just in there for now. So I've got everything that is in there written down, and now I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna figure out my menu. So basically what I'm going to do now is go through and figure out our next week's worth of meals based on the stuff that we have in the freezer. That way it'll be a lot cheaper and easier when we go to the grocery store because I won't have to buy as many things and we're using up what we already have on hand. So this is the menu that I came up with. Tonight we're gonna have whole chicken. We've got some spaghetti sauce in there that needs to be used up, so we'll have spaghetti. And then we like to do veggie spaghetti, and I found a lot of shredded zucchini from our garden, and so I'm just gonna use that in the sauce instead of buying zucchini and chopping it up. We're gonna have some veggie soup, and I'll do the ground beef in that, chili with some turkey, pizza, chicken burritos, and I'll use up the enchilada sauce, and so it'll be kind of like a enchilada burrito type thing, I don't know, but there's just a tiny bit of sauce in there, so I'll mix that up with some chicken, creamy chicken soup, beef meatballs, and mashed potatoes, and then we'll do like a breakfast, and I'll make some turkey sausage with the ground turkey in there and with the English muffins. I just thought I would show you real quick. I made some blueberry muffins out of that oatmeal. I just used my normal blueberry muffin recipe. I used a little bit less flour. I actually used sprouted flour, and then I used the oatmeal and I put it in the food processor, all the liquid ingredients, just to kind of blend it up, and they turned out amazing and taste delicious. So I hope you guys enjoyed this clean with me and meal plan with me. I like to do this every once in a while, just kind of take inventory of what we have, and it's been a long time since I've done that because there's a lot of stuff in there that I didn't realize we had. So if you found this inspiring and helpful and motivational, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.